Yeah, it was originally to pump water from the bottom canal up to the top, so that the water was kept topped up, because this is the upper level of the old canal, you see.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course you've got locks on two sides, which means that every time the lock is used, you lose a lock full of water. The old canal was the original canal, which was slightly higher than the one you see now. Was built by a canal engineer called James Brindley. Well, 1779 was when, so it was built before 1779.
Yeah.
The original site of the Smethwick engine is actually, you can visit that, it's on Bridge Street, which is not far away.
Yeah.
But the Smethwick engine itself is in the think tank.
Oh, in Birmingham,
It's the oldest working Watt engine in the world. But the Watt engine, he made improvements to the Newcomer engine, and the improvements resulted in the economic engine that could be used, where there wasn't a ready supply of cheap coal. So it doesn't work now.
It's a pity, isn't it? Yeah.
It was actually these. Well, say built when Brindley originally built the canal, which is this one here, the top one.
Yeah.
The problem was, it was building a canal to connect Birmingham with the coal mines in the Black Country, but unfortunately he had to get over what's called the Smethwick Summit.
Oh, right.
I mean, you wouldn't sort of recognise it as a summit of a hill or anything, because it's just a bump.
Yeah.
Really, that they needed to take the canal through or over in order to get it over the hump. And I think the Bridge Street pumping station was the first one that was needed to actually top up the locks. This was on one of Telford's great structures, which is still operating and still in good. This is just a display, which is Dr. Sadler Moore, who has something to do with, who is one of our volunteers, which is a nursing lecturer at Wolverhampton.
Oh yeah.
And she wrote a book on this woman who was the Sister Mary Ward, who did a lot of work with the looking after the health of the canal workers in the early 20th century. And these aren't the original pumps, but it gives an idea of what the clothes that the canal workers used to the boatmen's. And actually made the original canals. They sort of opened up the country, really.
Yeah.
Because it was before railways. Roads were very poor in those days, although they were trying to improve them. Obviously, transporting raw materials like coal, iron ore, limestone, by road, when the roads were poor, and that were, I mean, they didn't have cars or lorries or anything like that, I mean, it was mainly horse-drawn vehicles, perhaps donkeys and things. So road transport was very slow, expensive, and so they had the idea of, I mean, they had rivers, but then they had the idea that if they could build artificial rivers so that they could transport heavy goods and coal and stuff, that would vastly improve the state of transport. So that's one of the ideas that Brindley got going, really.
Yeah.
The reason why the canal network spread was because all the businessmen and the entrepreneurs in the country saw the advantage of connecting these places, you see. A big problem, really. All these minerals were found in the local area, in the Black Country itself.
Yeah.
Limestone, obviously, in Dudley.
Yeah.
I think I can find ironstone and fire clay there as well. So everything was to hand to make iron and steel. Limestone was also important raw material.
Yeah.
Fire clay, and all these minerals were found in the local area, in the Black Country itself.
Yeah.
Limestone, obviously, in Dudley. These are the three engineers who
Oh yeah,
were
there's
involved
there's
in
Brindley, yeah.
involved in making the canals. Brindley was the pioneer.
Yeah.
Very interesting man, Brindley. You know, he's wouldn't exactly think of him as an engineer nowadays, but obviously he was.
Yeah.
He worked everything out in his head, which was unusual. If he had a problem, he would go to bed
Yeah.
and lie on his bed and think about it. You know, when he got the solution, he'd come along and say, "Oh, we need to do this and that." His main speciality, I mean, he was a millwright originally, because water mills were very important in those days, and handling water was his speciality. And of course, when it came to building the canal, water was very important, and he had this idea that if he could line the bottom with puddling clay, then that would waterproof the canal, and you know, it would be a going concern, then the water wouldn't escape. So what he did was he lowered the canal by several feet and reduced the number of locks. So instead of having 6, he reduced it to 3, and then on this side of the canal he had he doubled the locks, so that you had twice the number of locks. But then the railway started to be built,
Yeah.
and the canal company, in order to compete with railways, they needed to do something to their canal so that it was more competitive. They turned to this chap, Thomas Telford, who was the greatest civil engineer, of his time.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing daunted Telford. If he saw a problem, he'd go the direct way,
Yeah.
So he said, right, dispense with all the canal, with all the locks, take the canal on a level all the way. So he had to build excavate this great big Galton Valley,
Yeah.
which you see here,
Yeah.
and to enable the canal to go straight through to Wolverhampton